Hey folks, welcome back to the Leeds Gamer. It has finished Leeds United 3, Nottingham Forest 1, and this is my match review. Good performance from Leeds tonight. Pretty good. It's a shame that we couldn't hold on for a clean sheet and really work hard on fixing that negative goal difference, but Leeds thoroughly deserved it. Couple of really good saves from Carl Darlow tonight. He made up for that howler that he did in the last match with a couple of really good saves, one in the first half and one in the second. Very useful indeed. So let's just have a look at the stats and then we'll finish up with the Premier League table as it stands. So let's go to the stats. So Leeds had more possession, more expected goals. Ironically, Forest had more shots and more on target, according to this. Lots of big chances for Leeds, according to this as well. And lots of them missed, which kind of puts a damper on things a little bit. Leeds were better in the passing department. Forest committed more fouls. Forest had a lot of corners. Didn't do up with them. Really surprised that it says that Forest had more shots. No, they didn't do enough with them. That's all that matters, really. They skied a lot of them. I'm surprised they had as many on target as they had off. I only remember Carl Darlow making 2, maybe 3 proper saves in the match. Couple of tame efforts that went directly to him. So I don't know whether maybe that counts. There was quite a bit of blocking going on, especially from a Leeds point of view, which was pretty good. Dom Calvert-Lewin headed the crossbar in the first half. So there could have been another goal there if that had been slightly more accurate. It was a decent effort, to be fair to him. And as you can see there, this might be a bit of a key aspect. We forced Forest to shoot wildly from outside the box on numerous occasions, and they kept skying them wide, like over and wide and things. So it's like, not much of a problem there. Defensively, Leeds won them on the tackles. Forest won on the interceptions and the blocks. A lot more clearances from Leeds, and it says 5 saves from Darlow. I mean, I count 3 as a maximum. Proper saves, at least anyway. Leeds won the duels in every kind of duel department and successful dribbles as well. That's good. What else have we got? Passing stats. Certainly the top half of all that. Leeds dominating in every department. Long balls. I mean, oddly enough, Ilya Gruev, who assisted the first Leeds goal, that surely would have been classed as an accurate long ball because it ended up being an assist. I mean, we didn't get that many crosses into the box as such. We had a couple of cutbacks, but I don't know. I mean, I'll get on to the players individually in a moment. I'll just finish up on the stats here. So Forest kind of dominated that side of things there. Nothing much in terms of cards given or anything like that. So let's move on to the lineups. From a Leeds point of view, let's see if I can get this a little better. Right, what we got? So, Carl Darlow in goal. In the end, his performance tonight was justified that he stayed in. I could quite easily have seen Lucas Perry come back in after the howler that Darlow made in the last match, but Carl made up for it tonight with a couple of really good saves. So fair play to him. James Justin was alongside Joe Rodon and Pascal Strout. Jacoby all not quite ready to come back in just yet. Jada Bogle and Gabby Goodmanson, toss up between the two of them for man of the match tonight, and maybe put Ilya Gruev in with a shout as well, with those 2 assists and just another like a really good game from Ilya. Ethan, again, not bad at all. Brendan and Noah looked dangerous at times. DCL got into the match as it went on. I felt he was a bit quiet to start with, but the 2 players out wide of him, did contribute as the game went on. From a Forest point of view, new goalkeeper Ortega started. They had youngster Abbott at right back, and then Milenkovic and Marato at centre back, with Olaraina at left back. Anderson and Sangare. I was expecting a decent game for Anderson because he's a decent player. I thought he was fairly average. Gibbs White, he got subbed off for Christ's sake. He was as quiet as you like. Dominguez and Hudson Odoi didn't really offer much at all. Igor Jesus put a couple of attempts high and wide. He wasn't any real threat. As far as the subs were concerned, nice to see Dan James back. Had a couple of moments where he was able to get on the afterburners a little bit. Longstaff got some more minutes as well. Bornell coming on late on. From a Forest point of view, Looker took his goal well. Decent ball came in and it was a good header. Joe Rodon couldn't put him off enough and scored from close range with a big header. But he's 6'7" tall, so he's going to be a difficult unit to deal with for any opposition. Hutchinson, who's well known for being a very pacey player. He got the assist for the goal, obviously, but he didn't really get a chance to use his pace very much. And then Yates, Endoy and Nets, those 3 didn't do anything when they came on, really. Players that didn't come on: Angus Gunn, the backup goalkeeper, Jay Connor, James McAtee, who was supposedly a target for Leeds at one point, and then the Nigerian striker Taiwo Awoniyi, he didn't come on either. From Leeds' point of view, not many subs made at all, really. And I thought that with us being 3-0 up for quite some time, that we might have made changes, just to freshen things up, but it never really happened. Lucas Perry was on the bench. Good to see Akabiel back on the bench at least. At least he's proven he's available. And it was good to see Lucas Metcher on the bench again, because again he'd picked up an injury that made it look as if he wasn't going to get any game time. But he was back on the bench at the very least. Outinaka, Joel Piru and Wilfred Nonto also on the bench, who did not come on. In terms of the players that were unavailable for Leeds, according to this, with just Anton Stack, and obviously Sam Byram, the other squad member who didn't make the bench, along with the 2 goalkeepers, Hill Melier and Alex Cairns. From a Forest point of view, they had a few key players out. Chris Wood, who's been out for a long time as far as I'm aware. Savona wasn't available. Williams, I haven't seen it, but maybe I need to see it, because apparently it was a comical handball that got him a straight red and got him suspended. The goalkeepers, they've got 2 goalkeepers unavailable, and we've got 2 goalkeepers that can't even make the bench. So they've got both John Victor and Matt Sells. Sells had a very good season last season, didn't he, by all accounts. They were both unavailable. And that's why they brought Ortega in from Man City, just to give themselves some extra cover. So, with all of this in mind then, let's go to the Premier League table. So, the win puts Leeds 3 points ahead of Forest now, and put it back to a better goal difference again against Forest, after they were dead level before tonight's match. And more importantly, 9 points, albeit West Ham have a game in hand. They play Burnley, I believe. Just double check. Yep, Burnley West Ham. It's happening tomorrow. So ideally, we'd take either a Burnley win or a draw there, I think, to be honest. That way then it keeps a nice points gap, and obviously we've got the advantage of the goal difference as well. So Leeds, 16th place, 25 played, 7 wins, 8 draws and 10 losses now. Scored 34, conceded 43. The conceding goals figure is still quite high, But again, if you take 9 goals out of that in isolation from the 2 Arsenal matches, take those 2 out, you don't have a great deal of difference between the goals scored and goals conceded. 29 points on the board. I think personally we need 11 more points. Crystal Palace are in free fall at the minute. If they lose their next match, I mean, we could swap positions depending on how many goals Palace concede. We could concede 5, obviously. I don't see that happening really, unless they get tonked against Brighton. They're not having the best of seasons. Nah, there's not going to be a 5-goal swing there. But Leeds have solidified their place in 16th right now with that win. The form guide being loss, win, draw, loss, win. It's not too bad at all for a team in the bottom quarter, really. And again, Forest's form before tonight was win, draw, win, draw. But thankfully we've put a nice loss in their recent form. Burnley have had a number of draws. With 3 in the last 5. West Ham have had 2 wins in the last 5. I could see that being a draw, based on that kind of form. Lost their last matches against Chelsea and Sunderland. So difficult to tell. Wolves, they're down already. Burnley are going to be down anyway, even if they beat West Ham, I think, to be honest. Because then the gap's still going to be quite big between them. Both of those 2 teams there, West Ham and Burnley, and Forest themselves. Leeds did what they had to do tonight, because Leeds' fixtures, if we have a quick look at the ones that are coming up, we have got some stinkers. Away at Chelsea, I mean, the cup match against Birmingham, I hope we play all the players that haven't had a lot of game time recently. We don't need to be losing our best players. Then we stay away in Birmingham to play their Midlands counterparts, or even Birmingham counterparts themselves, Aston Villa. That again will be a very tough game because they're high up in the league at the minute. Then we got Man City. So the next 3 games, there's a possibility we might get 3 losses on the bounce. I don't want it to be that, but you can't rule that out. Even though we're at home against Man City, which will make things slightly better, but I still see Man City having too much strength in depth. And then against Sunderland, that's the next one that we have a chance of winning. It's an evening game again, which, as I say, these evening/night games at Ellen Road, that's 5 wins out of 5 this season now. I seriously see us getting a win there. Palace are in free fall. Our away form's not amazing, but the performances are starting to get a bit better away from home. I could see us getting at least a draw out of that. At home against Brentford, Brentford are having a very good season, but again, look at it, it's a night game again. So, despite Brentford doing well this season, I see Leeds getting something out of that. So all these extra wins that we needed to kind of get to 40 points, I think, when I look at this now, and I look at this kind of like nighttime record that we've got, or evening time record that we've got at Ellen Road, the fact that 2 of them, on 3rd of March and 21st of March, are happening. If Palace don't pick their form up, I could see us getting a win or a draw there, comfortably. But it's getting through these next 3 league matches as unscathed as possible. Chelsea, Villa and Man City. These next 3 are going to be horrible to watch. If we can get a draw out of any of those, I'd be more than happy with that. So, just finally, I'll just go back on to today's match, and I'll just go through some ratings very quickly on the lineups. Darlow, good performance. Couldn't do anything about the goal that was scored. It was close range. Headed with power, that was always going to be difficult for him to save. James Justin, pretty good. Again, just acted as an extra player going forward. Anytime Bogle went forward, Justin went forward. Joe and Pascal, fine, no issues there. Gabby and Jaden, absolutely fantastic. Ilya, excellent. Those 2 assists from Ilya were brilliant, really, really good. He's a defensive midfielder and he's come away with 2 assists. You don't expect that from Ilya. It's excellent. Ethan, solid. Noah looked very effective along with Gabriel on that left hand side. Brendan took so many hard knocks tonight. They were fouling him all over the shop, and he still kept battling on. So fair play to Brendan with that. DCL, a bit slow to start, but got into the game. But again, the players weren't getting close enough to him. He was having to kind of do stuff himself. But then when that beautiful curled ball into the box from Ilya, and Dom just steams in and scores at the near post. Yeah, it was excellent. In terms of the subs, Dan had a couple. I mean, Dan was trying. He was trying to get involved. He got forward a couple of times, and maybe on another day when he's fully fit, could probably been a little more accurate. But I can't really complain with what Dan did in the time that he was on the pitch. Longstaff, I felt Sean was still a bit rusty as well, to be fair. And Seb came on in 90th, and there wasn't the right lot that Seb needed to do when he came on. In fairness, so yeah, good day at the office. No Leeds player had a bad game today. Absolutely none of them. They all played the part, all played well. In terms of man at match, there was probably 3 players up for it. Bogle, Gudmundsson and Gruev. I think all 3 of those were superb. So I'd probably give 8s or 9s for those 3. I reckon 7/8 for the front 3. Give an 8 for Darlow. As I say, made a couple of key saves in the match. And then the back line again, solid 7/8. Apart from the one goal that they scored, bringing on a flipping giant like Looker and getting one quality ball into the box for him to head. I mean, aside from that, there were the odd moment where, Forrest looked a little dangerous. Igor Jesus had a couple of attempts, but aside from that, Gibbs White, I mean, he was kept so quiet. The hype was all about this fella, and he was quiet as a mouse. He didn't have any joy in the match at all. Leeds did very well at nullifying him. He's a hothead, that Dominguez. He just got frustrated because he wasn't that good. Hudson-Odoi, I think I only remember him getting beyond Bogle once in the entire match, maybe twice. He didn't have anything in it. And again, Anderson didn't have any chance to kind of impose himself in the midfield. Sangari was just a dirty bugger. He didn't do out. And then their back line was distinctly average. And I didn't think Ortega did anything to crown his debut, quite frankly. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm pleased with that. Really solid win against a team that's near us in the table. Those are the kind of games that we do need to win if we're going to stay up. So, based on what we've done now, I think to stay up, we need 3 more wins and 2 more draws. Get that, 40 points, we stay up. So 3 wins and 2 draws. Just go back to the fixtures again. 3 wins and 2 draws. Let's see where we're going to get those. 3 wins and 2 draws. Where are we getting them? 3 wins, 2 draws. So even if we wipe out those horrible 3 league matches there, I think we get a win against Sunderland. I think we get a draw against Palace because it's away from home. I think we can beat Brentford. Again, with it being a night match at Ellen Road, forget that one. It's not a night match, but again, it's at Ellen Road, so I think that's another win against Wolves there. I think we can get Bournemouth's form's not amazing. I think we can get a draw at their place. And then I think we can get a win at home against Burnley, even though it's not a night one there. And that's as a minimum, You could write. I mean, Tottenham's form's not great all season, but they'll be tough. Brighton's a bit of a bogey side for us, and then I think with the way West Ham aren't that good, so as a bare minimum we can get a draw. With that final match of the season. I truly believe we're going to get that 40-point mark. I think we've got the games remaining, and with the form that some of those teams are in, I truly think we can get something. or we can get those points that we need to get the 40 in to stay up. So I'm gonna leave it there, folks. I'll leave you with the Premier League table and where Leeds stand at this moment in time. Big thank you for watching. Do please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Do please hit the like button and also hype it if you can as well. Really appreciate the support. Great win for Leeds tonight. I'm buzzing. Really happy with that. You know, really tonight. I don't use the must-win phrase too often, but tonight was a must-win, and they won with relatively comfortably tonight. I think we could have been 4 or 5 up. I really can. If we'd have been a little bit more accurate going forward, that's my only criticism. But no, the lads put in a shift tonight and got the result that they wanted and the result they deserved. So, yep, big thanks for watching. Take care, all the best. Catch you next time. Bye for now.